everybody and welcome on today's video. This is a quite big field maple in a very big pot, and well, he was a little higher just an hour ago, so yeah, I chopped him, so you can see that here. And now, of course, I have to get him out of the pot and yeah, see what I can do, because I'm sure the roots are very bad, and that's a little trick that I want to show you. So let's start. So in order to get this tree, man, this is a heavy pot. Oh boy, to get this out of the pot, well, it's not going to be too difficult, I think, but yeah, I have him. And as you see, lots of roots, so that's great. And now, yeah, well, this tree has a few nice features. He's planted in garden soil, so that's not good. I have to work on that. There's some nice movement here. There's also a few bad points, like this wound here and this big wound here, that I could use as a feature, but I can also try to close it, which is a completely different technique, and I cannot do that now, but I can explain. I've seen it done. I've never did it before. I've seen some people let small twigs evolve, put them there and even wind them in and then compress it, so that closes the wounds quite rapidly. Now I have to get all this stuff off, and as you see, it's going to take a while, so I'm not gonna bother you with that, because that's not the purpose of this video. I hope that the purpose is something that will have well, that it will have to do with creating new roots. But yeah, first of all I have to see how these roots look. So I'm going to get all the soil off. You see, that's just clayish garden soil. There's a fair amount of sand here, because I live in a place where there's quite a lot of sand in the soil, which is very good. But okay, I'm going to clean this up completely, wash the roots, bare root it, and then I'll turn the camera back on, because this might take a while. It took me almost an hour to get all the soil and clay out of this thing here, and excuse me. And I have been looking now for what is already a nice root base. So what does not make a good root base will have to go. Now you can work in different perspectives. You see, we have nice roots here. This one is a little high, this has to go. So that's one possibility. Or we could try to make an even larger root spread by using these flares here. Anyway, this root has to go because it's way too high in every case. So I'll just get rid of that one, like so. I've heard you can take root cuttings from maples, but never really worked out good root cutting. So yeah, so these roots are very thick, very nice already. They have a good spread. This one also is quite high, so I'm not going to use that. But in order to have a really nice root spread, all over the tree and keep the tree as healthy as possible, I'm going to remove a whole lot of the roots here. Just make everything a whole lot shorter. And I don't think you can do that with any type of tree, but with field maples, especially in the beginning of the growing season, this is really not a big deal. So I already remove this. It's getting kind of messy here. But what I think that is the best thing to do, and what I did on another tree of mine, is, well, I would love to have a very nice balanced root base, and therefore I'm going to ground layer this tree. This is going to cause some difficulties here. Yeah. I'm going to ground layer this tree. So I will remove a ring of bark here and then hope that I get new roots here. So that means that I'm going to air layer just above the roots and put the whole thing back in the ground. So I need some space to do that. Okay, so let me get my sharp blades. So I want to keep as much of the root flare as I can. So I think that if I air layer here, I'll have a nice root flare. I can even go a little lower, but then I have to remove this one, which does not matter because anyways I have to remove these portions. I also have to clean up a little bit this wound. Make it a little hollow so that it heals, and I will cover these with some wound paste. So I can even go a little lower, and that's the place where I want new roots to come out. So this is going to be my root flare, and of course I have to do that on the other side too. So I'm going to take my sharp razor here and just slowly remove a complete ring, at least 2 centimeters. And this takes time. It's not something that you do in a few minutes, because you have to do the upper side and the side down here, because you don't want any bridge to form. So this is, well, a little tricky, but it's really worth your time. The good thing about this technique is that you can create a whole lot of new roots while the tree still has a whole lot of good roots, and it's quite a safe technique. So you want the upper side to be nice and clean. The side here is less important. So I'll just keep on working. So I'm quite happy with the bark that I removed here. This will be the place where new roots emerge, and this is going to be all around the tree. And I hope that this makes the nebari a little more interesting. Instead of working with these old roots, that could be a problem, because, well, the chances that you get them nice and even is really not that big. So okay, I'm going to plant this tree now in a smaller pot. So this is the pot I'm going to use. It's well, a little smaller. That means that I'm going to have to remove a few more of these roots here, just to fit it in. And well, the thing is, there's still a whole lot of roots left, so that's not going to be a really big deal for the tree. And I can just happily hack my way through this. To make it fit in that new pot. Let's see. Yeah, this is perfect. So it is time now to pot this tree up. I'm going to use almost the same soil as I had before, and I will be sure that the tree is buried up to here. So I'm just going to add soil. The soil that I used, I will reuse partly, but I will mix it with some cat litter to make it a little more airy. So that's gonna be it. So technically, well, there's nothing more that I can show you, except that this is the technique that I used before, and it was a success. This tree will be in this pot now for at least 2 years. Maybe I get it out next year and see what it does, and start to remove some of the thicker roots here, because of course, obviously, at one point this will be removed completely here, and we just will work with the new roots if we have them. But I don't doubt that with field maple. I'm not going to work on the top. I'm just going to let this tree grow wild, and once we have a good root base, we'll start to work on the top part. Except maybe for the little try to close the hole trick that I might try, but that's something maybe in the middle of summer, or maybe in the autumn. So that's basically it. I'm going to put this tree in this pot, and that's the end of the video. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. And so this is the tree, nicely potted up. The part for the ground layer is nicely in the soil. So that's it.